in Genesis, when God has created the earth, the thing that he gave to the earth that made the earth so sufficient is the glory. See, when the glory of God comes upon you, there is a difference. I'm telling you. When the glory comes, people that know you before will not know you again. What makes me and you different is the glory. When I carry the glory, my appearance change. When I carry the glory, my atmosphere change. Everything that has to do with me change. Because of what? There's a garment I'm putting on, which is the glory of God. One thing that we do in the secret place is to carry the glory of God. The glory of God talks about the power of God, the presence of God, the authority of God, and the reverence of God. The glory of God talks about what? The power of God, the presence of God, and what? The authority of God. With what? The reverence. When you see a man that carries a spirit, you will know. The man speaks with authority, audacity. The man carries so much power and so much reverence. You know the meaning of reverence? When you come into a place, people will notice you. Have you ever been somewhere before? Somebody enters somewhere, the atmosphere changes, whether good or bad. You have noticed before, somebody entered somewhere where you people are. The atmosphere changed. What that person carries is presence. There's a presence that the person comes with. When the glory comes upon you, the three things that will be there is the power, the presence, and the authority. When the glory comes upon you, the three things that will be there is the power, the presence, and the authority. Let's go to Genesis 3. Genesis 31 from verse 1. And it says, and he heard the words of Laban's sons, saying, Jacob had taken away all that was our father, and all that was which our father had he gotten all his glory. Who was the father of Jacob? Isaac, right? This was Esau complaining. When it comes to Esau and Jacob, Esau inherits cattle, animals, but Jacob inherits the presence of God. So he says he has gotten all what? All this glory. So when he was talking about glory, he's talking about everything that Isaac what? Carried. And it's not about Isaac alone. It was about Abraham. Because Isaac is the seed of what? Of Abraham. And Abraham carries so much of God's glory. To the point that Abraham was able to be negotiating a city. You know the story of Sodom and Gomorrah? The Bible said Lot and his wife should not turn back. The wife turned back and turned to Sodom. But Abraham turned and was negotiating the same city with God. The same city that a man turned and became a bag of salt was the same city that a man is negotiating with God. What happens there is the glory. And that was the same glory that Jacob enjoyed. The scripture says, they that wait upon the Lord, they shall renew their strength. When your strength is being renewed, you gather so much energy. Have you seen an eagle? Eagle lives 80 years. I hope you know. 80 years. Every 40 years, the eagle goes back to the mountain and break his wing and come back with a fresh wind. He goes up to the wind, to the mountain. Then he will leave himself. He will be falling. His mouth, everything, all the veins, old ones will be living. Then he will come back alive. He says, oh, this glory. So I want to ask you, what did you think that Jacob carried that was running away with? What do you think? Oh, you remember when Esau came back to the father and said, I have bring the servant. The father says, I have already released it. So, the thing that we are talking about there was not money. The thing that we are talking about there was not cattle, was not sheep, was not kibbles. Isaac says, I have released it already. Okay, if Jacob carried cattle and all the rest, why did he travel to God become a slave for 7 years? The thing that he ran with was what? Glory. That was why that Jacob was able to see the angel, because he has carried a glory, a generational glory. As far as the glory rests on him, it will make a difference. Because of what? The glory. Talk about the glory of God. We talk about the presence of God, the power of God, the authority of God, and the reverence of God. A man that carries glory don't need money. People will supply to you. The Bible says, according to his riches in what? In glory. See, you are the one that is still dealing with physical cash. Physical currency will always finish. I used to tell my members here, I said, the money you have is not enough to take you to your destination. If the money you have in your account, you cannot take it to where you're going to. So the Bible says, according to what? His riches in what? In glory. There is so much things hidden in the glory of God. There is so much. The time I started ministry, there was a time I was looking for connections. I was looking for foreign connections. Foreign number, foreign connections. I don't see. I'm telling you, if I chat foreign somebody, they will block me. I'm telling you. I don't chat the person. Hello, piam. Then I was doing ministry. But the time came, the glory rested. When the glory rested, many of them started looking for me. I'm telling you the sincere truth. There is something the glory does. When you carry the glory, you will carry the force of acceptance. There is no how they can reject you. That thing you are doing is their glory. If the glory of God is not there, you will be stranded. If the glory of God is not there, you may end up halfway. You may not get there. You may not. When we are about getting this place, getting this all, I met some senior man of God. I said, we want to get to all. It was the question he asked me. He said, if there's a word he used, longevity. You know, longevity means, can you continue this thing? Can you keep doing it all the time? I said, yes. He said, I should show him a proof. Right, I can. I said, as far as God liveth, I will continue it. No matter what. And God proved himself in this ministry. God shows his excellence. God shows his fullness. God shows his glory. God shows his presence. He's God. I told him, as far as you are the one who called me, you will supply everything that I need to run this race. The Bible said that God dwells in an unapproachable light, not in heavens. So he said, set thy glory above the heavens. Now go to the next verse. It says, out of the mouth of babies and the sucklings, as thou ordained strength because of thy enemies, thou might sit thy enemy and the avengers. Go to the next one. When I consider the heavens, the works of thy fingers, the moon, the stars, which thou hast ordained. Next. He said, what is man that thou art mindful of him? The Son of Man that thou visited him. I want to tell you one of the things that God used to make a man. You know, Genesis chapter 1, he said, and God formed man. It's not just formed. Are you getting what I'm saying? That? Oh, I hope you know that man has more ability than spirit. I hope you know. As a man, you have more ability than spirit. That is why, if you open yourself up, any spirit is ready to use you. They are ready. Like, I call those spirits, I call them prostitutes. Let me use the word. They are ready. They are looking for every availability to make use of it. So the Bible says that what is man that thou art mindful of him, and the Son of Man that thou visited in next verse. It says, for thou hast made him a little lower than the angels. See, the two difference between man and angel is that the glory of angels are external. Are you getting that? When you see Angel Michael, you see the glory. You see strength. You see power. You see energy. That is Angel Michael. When you see Gabriel, you see wisdom. When you see Raphael, you see the healing power of God. That is angels. When you see them, you see them. But when you see a man, the glory of a man is internal, not outside. God has a reason why he wired man inside. If God has wired man glory outside, we worship man. Moses possessed a lot of glory. That was why when Moses died, angel will ascend immediately. Go and carry this body. Because if you leave this body, the dark kingdoms will take some samples on it. Glory of a man is what? It's internal. It's not external. That is why it takes time for you to find it. But when you find the glory, you will ride on the wings of the earth. When I was about starting this ministry, there was a question I asked God. I have served with pastors. I have seen pastors. I've seen pastors go through pains. I hope people are aware, right? You see pastors suffer so much. You know, there are suffering and there's still suffering. And I told God, I said, I don't want to personally do ministry like that. I told God, I said, God, I don't want to. God told me something. He said, when you want to run ministry, you don't run ministry by yourself. You run it by me. And he told me, he said, the shortcut in ministry is obedience. The fastest way that a spirit can carry you is by obedience. When you don't obey, you will struggle. And I asked him, I said, I have seen pastors that suffer for 20 years, 30 years before they see the light in ministry. I said, I don't want to be like that. I said, why are they suffering? He said that some of them learned what they should learn early, late. Do you see that now? And he said some of them live in disobedience till they are discomforted in it. And you know, there's something funny about obedience is that when you obey, it will look like you are proud or whatever, you are arrogant, you are stubborn. But that's not the truth.